order awaited from the Supreme Court of India whether hijab is protected as an essential religious practice or not. The Karnataka High Court order, a 3-judge bench order, was challenged before the Supreme Court of India, and a very, very crucial verdict on the constitutionality, on the legality, is expected from the apex court of the country. Now, what is it before the court that the petitioners have argued so far? What are the key limbs of their argument? Let's go through them one by one. Can be seen as religion, conscience and culture. Article 25 protects each and every individual's faith, conscience, culture, the right to minorities and other things. The practice is bona fide, it is permissible, it is something which is an essential religious test. This argument was made at the High Court and at the Supreme Court. Public education bodies can't impose a dress code. Religious norms or any kind of belief or a faith system should be over and up. It should take precedence over any kind of institutional norms or propriety which are prescribed, say, for example, at a government school or, at a college run by the state government or government-run institutions. I want to cut across to our guests as well who are joining us this morning. We have Maulana Masood Hassan Kazmi, Mr. PKD Nambiar and Mr. Desh Ratan Nigam. A very good morning to all of you. Mr. Nambiar, coming to you first. And I'm going to raise this argument. We have spoken about the essential religious test. We have also discussed a bit about, institutional autonomy versus the religious rights. I want to talk from the point of view of the Puttaswamy judgment in this country, the right to privacy in this country. Privacy as held by the Supreme Court in the Constitution Bench judgment is all pervasive in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, which means it is protected as equality, it is protected as, expression, it is also protected as right to life. If I believe in something, I have the right to do it. This is one argument that the petitioners made before the court. How do you see this argument? And can this argument really protect the rights of certain individuals who want to wear a hijab when they go to school?
Anusha, I am going to disappoint you. Because I'm going to, I'm not going
to be hopeful or disappointed. Go ahead, sir.
I'll tell you why. The reason being, today is a very important day, not only for India, even for a globe altogether. The reason being, this judgment is supposed to come maybe in another few minutes from now.
Yes.
It is very important, and it's a time wherein the Muslim woman across the world, from the hardcore Iran to Afghanistan to Iraq to all the places, are talking about hijab as a regressive, and they're talking about they wanted to come out and talking about the freedom. On the other hand, here in India, which is supposed to be a modern society, a tech society, which is a progressing superpower, we are actually fighting for that. We wanted to have hijab. I am definitely for hijab. All those who wanted to wear hijab, let them wear. I think we have all those kind of a freedom which is given by our constitution. But is it really the way we wanted our society to progress? Is this hijab is regressive or is it progressive? If it is regressive, is this the way our young girls and girls required to live in this country? We have seen in some of your own colleagues were cutting their hair in the protest of all these kind of stuff. I think today is a very important day, and I hope the Karnataka High Court
lawyers had argued in the High Court. 3-judge bench had given the verdict after a long inquiries. So I feel the judgment will be in favor of the education department, because as you know that the aim of education is giving a scientific temperament for the student. The argument the girls did that it is the religious practice and they have to practice their religion. Schools and colleges are not meant to practice religious practices. So I expect a good judgment.
Sir, also the lawyer at Karnataka, when advocates when arguing, had said PFI, CFI were behind this whole hijab row. Now that it's banned, what is the security arrangements in schools and colleges? Do you think Karnataka will be peaceful in the next few days?
Definitely, government has got total capacity to handle people who belongs to PFI or SFI, etc. And you also know that when even When the judgment came from the High Court, there was no problem at all, law and order problem. So we have government has capacity to handle it.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, coming upstairs only. We will have tea there because we will start meeting after 10 minutes.
Well, that was the Karnataka Education Minister who assured that whichever way the verdict goes, the state will remain peaceful. It will not be a case in point that just because certain sections of the society don't like what the Supreme Court of India has said, any kind of law and order situation is going to be allowed. That's an assurance that the minister concerned has given. The stand that the state of Karnataka has taken is absolutely clear that they do not want any kind of law and order situation to emerge. Mr. Nambiar, you were making a point. If you can briefly finish your point, and then I'll go to Maulana Saab and Mr. Deshratan Nikam.
So I'm only saying one thing, that whatever the Supreme Court decides today, we will all welcome and accept it wholeheartedly. But the only thing which we all need to, the civil society and the media need to discuss, is this what we wanted our young minds to be pushed in their mind? Is that what our young girls who is going to the schools should be going in this kind of an attire? Is that the way they wanted to differentiate themselves from the rest of their classmates? Is this the way progressive India should give the outlook?
In few minutes from now, as Mr. Nambiar said, we are going to have the verdict, and I'm going to stick my neck out and lead this discussion. Mr. Deshratan Nikam and Maulana Saab, I want you both to respond to this point. I say that any kind of covering, a head covering, when it's prescribed or told women to be done in a certain way, especially when it comes from the point of view of modesty or preserving a social order, is a regressive practice. If I go to a religious institution and if I want to cover my head out of reverence for my God, that's a different thing altogether. But to impose these conditions on women as some kind of essential religious practice is a regressive argument, a socially regressive argument. Mr. Deshratan.
Yes, in fact, the covering of a woman, whether it is head or the body, and not giving them a choice, is based on the concept that women are sexual distraction. That is the entire, making free the men who have bad intentions or bad looks or bad eyes on the women. So the entire onus has been shifted to women. That is where the regressiveness comes out in the entire episode. So the men in Islam, it is highly patriarchal, and as it arose from the lands where the men ruled. However, Saudi Arabia has given up the mandatory nature of the hijab. Turkey has also given up. In fact, not many countries now follow hijab. Even Pakistan, it is not mandatory. But in India, it is being made and shown as it is an essential practices of Islam.
Okay, Maulana Saab, I want to take that argument to you. Deshratan Nikamji, I want to bring in Maulana Saab as well here. You, as one of the leading scholars within the religion, and I say this as a woman to you, the argument should be that women should have more rights, freedom, independence, the way they want to dress, they should dress. If they want to wear a hijab, they should be allowed to wear a hijab. But when you're making an argument as a community, or certain people go to the court and say that it's an essential religious practice, you're basically telling all Muslim women to cover their heads. You are basically putting forward a version of religion which may be argued as a regressive form of religion and not really a progressive form of religion. Maulana Saab.
Yes, let me make it clear.
Yes.
We are not Saudi Arabia, we are not Turkey, and we don't believe in the Saudi Arabia system of government. We are very happy in our constitution, and we admire our constitution. My constitution give me right to process my religion. But this is not the issue of the religion. This is the issue of constitution. Constitution provide individual autonomy in order to what to wear, what to eat. It is a matter of the personal choice, individual choice. When comes this issue, religious issue comes, when this the choice of the women, they can what they can wear, what they cannot.
Okay.
Let them